What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Who You Got with
MELO
and RADO. It's your sports podcast where we talk about your favorite sports debates, sports highlights, and the sports matchups of the week. And we got a good week of sports. What's up, Mello? How you been?
Oh, same old, man. Just been watching sports all around. Just seen us a few days ago talking about NFL, thick of the playoffs or thick of the playoff contention, right? A few weeks before. Obviously, we got fights coming up next week. I think we got Poirier versus Oliveira. Great card in there. I think even Sugar Sean's fighting on that card. And obviously, we about almost 2 months into the NBA, and things are starting to spice up. Teams are starting to get chemistry, and pretty much, as you ask me every time, it's always the same answer, man. I work out, I watch my sports. That's about it, man. I love my sports, and that's why we're here, man. What about you?
Oh, for sure, man. Like you said, we did the NFL episode last, and now, you got a lot of sports this December right now. Like you said, we're in the thick of it with NFL. We got fight weekend, but we're here to talk about the NBA. NBA has been rolling like 20 games in right now, and we chatted about the NBA a little bit earlier in the season. We chatted about like 3 weeks ago, but about 10 games in. So we were just seeing teams start out, and now we're seeing a little bit more out of teams. So we want to definitely talk to y'all about some NBA action, right?
No, that's a fact, man. This weekend coming up, first week of December, we got a lot of good games. I definitely want to go over a few matchups, and then obviously touch on some of the hottest storylines in the NBA. Definitely see what's going on, hot teams, bad teams. Just like we always do, man. That's what we're here for. Give you that type of content and see what's going on in the world of the NBA.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I
I
mean, we
would
got
say we'll just take it away. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
This weekend, we got Friday and Saturday. We got some fantastic games on the lineup. Starting with yours truly. I say if you don't know this by now, you know this. I'm a Celtics fan. So when I say yours truly, Celtics are playing this Friday against the Jazz. And that is honestly, that's gonna be a tough game for the C's. Um, I bleed green, but them boys have been playing ridiculously subpar this year. Definitely disappointing compared to the roster that they have. Seem like their intensity on defense is just not there. They're gonna go up against a Jazz team whose offense is starting to click a little bit more. Now, remember, Jazz had a great start, dipped off a little bit. Now they're picking it back up. Obviously, one thing that never left was that defense. Obviously, that defense is always there. You got star players on both sides. Jason Tatum is going to give you 24, 9, and 3. Donovan Mitchell is going to give you 23, 4, and 5. Obviously, you got Brown. They both should be able to play when both of them play. That's 24 and 21. 21 is coming from Brown. So you're definitely getting good points. But it's all about the role players for the Celtics. We definitely got to see where the rest of them points are coming from. Obviously, Schroeder is doing fantastic coming off the bench, giving us 17 points. But honestly, the Jazz is definitely showing that they could do the same thing. Obviously, they start with the defense, lead with the defense. But you got Rudy giving you 15 and 14, Clarkson pretty much dropping 15, pretty much just coming and scoring, giving you points. And then they got three other role players giving you pretty much 10 to 15. So they pretty much are sharing the ball. Offense is starting to click. Bo John is starting to shoot. Even Gay's coming off the bench giving you 10 points. They're definitely looking good. So I think without a lot of things going right for the Celtics, the Jazz would definitely walk away with this one. Unfortunately, it pains me to say, but Celtics just beat the 76ers. It was a low scoring game. Obviously, they came away with a block on the last play, but my whole thing for that is, they couldn't even score 100 points. And that stagnant offense is definitely going to be a problem against one of the league's top defense, and obviously the Stifle Tower and Rudy Gobert. So I'll give this one a 119 to 107 win for the Jazz. Jalen and Jason's going to keep it competitive. I definitely think that Smart needs to improve a little bit. He's only getting 10 points a game. We got to see a little better shooting and a little bit better decision making from him. But I hope that the role players could step up and make it a competitive game. but ultimately the Jazz are definitely favorites to win this one, and there's obviously a reason why.
Right. Yep. They are the favorites. There's a few keys for me for this game, though, for sure. I mean, one key I agree with you on. The role players definitely matter in this game a lot. Like the role players with the Celtics and the Jazz. Honestly, the Jazz role players are some. I mean, they have some of the best bench in the league. Honestly, if you look at the last, especially last 10, 15 games, they've been stepping it up a lot more.
Oh yeah.
They're third in the league in 3-point percentage, and that's a lot of that is from their bench. They definitely get a lot of that. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is a great 3-point shooter as well, but
They've been showing good.
guys are definitely stepping up on their bench. Um, you're right about the Celtics not being able to score points. We even saw that against Philadelphia. They're having a tough time scoring points. I feel like this season they're going into more of a defensive, type of team. They definitely want to be a more defensive minded uh, basketball team, and you see that with Udoka's scheme, their coach,
Hmm.
but it's going to be interesting to see if Jason Tatum plays. Jalen Brown plays because right now they're saying that he has a slight hamstring injury, but they're saying he should play. If he plays, I think this is going to be a little more competitive game to me. I just need to see more from Dennis Schroeder. Honestly, like we've seen, Marcus Smart's been playing pretty decent lately. He's been passing the ball pretty well and getting like 6 assists a game, which is pretty decent. For a guy that only plays around like 24 minutes a game, it's pretty good.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
I definitely need to see Dennis Schroeder though step up. Obviously, he's trying to play that 6-man role. He needs to score more like 18 to 20 points, not just like 12 to 14, because he is that main scoring for you guys on the bench. You guys don't have anyone else other than maybe like Al Horford when he comes
Exactly.
out from the bench. So that's one thing that does worry me is that you guys don't have much of a bench, much of like the role players, and they're not scorers. They're a lot. You got a lot of 3D guys. You got a lot of defensive scheming guys. You guys got a lot of bigs on the
Hmm.
squad that are younger. But for the Jazz, I do think that their 3-point comes in handy in this type of game, and I do think that you're right. They're probably gonna. They, sorry, the Celtics are gonna have a lower scoring game, but the threes of the Jazz are just gonna overtake it in the end. I just got this a little bit lower scoring than you do, though. I got it 110, 105. I think it'll be a little bit closer.
It's not that I don't want it to be closer, but they really been struggling to get some offense going in consistent ways. They just become stagnant so often, and I'm gonna keep saying it a lot this year when we talk about the Celtics. As long as they keep having this problem, that's one of the problems they had last year, and that's something that was supposed to be pretty much the top things that was supposed to be addressed. With this new coach coming in with the whole new game plan, now we putting the ball in our playmakers' hands. We're supposed to get better offense going, and we haven't at all this year.
That's true. I mean, definitely Jason Tatum has stepped it up like in the last 10, 15 games. I remember like the first 5, 10 games of the season, he was taking a back seat to Brown,
Jalen.
and Brown's scoring more. But now, you saw Tatum go out there, hit a 50 spot, a week and a half ago or so. So he's definitely stepping it up now in his scoring. They're progressing as a team. Obviously, you saw they didn't come out good the first like 15 games in the season. They were pretty much 8 and 9, so they didn't come out good. But now the last 10 games they've been doing a little bit better. Or last not 10, the last 6 I think it has been for them because they're 21 games in right now. They've been doing a little bit better, so I think that they're moving in the right direction. I feel like they need more scoring from the bench to really move up to be with those top teams in the East right now.
Oh yeah, definitely need more from the bench. It seemed like they didn't really improve the bench much at all this year. We got a lot of young people, so we'll see if they can start shining and doing what they're supposed to do. We'll definitely see what opportunities they got, but definitely got a lot to work on for now. But either way, it seems like
It's gonna be a
consensus
loss.
that
Yeah.
definitely gonna be a loss, and the Jazz is gonna
I mean,
walk away with this one.
Jazz are moving in the right direction for sure too. Like they weren't
Hmm.
playing that well in the beginning of the season, but right now Mike Conley's been stepping it up for them. He's actually their top assist getter too. So like,
13-5, yeah.
yeah, I mean like they're moving in the right direction. So definitely like to see that.
No, for sure, for sure. And obviously, yeah, they're one of the top teams in the West. Um, there are a few teams ahead of them though,
That's
and we
true.
just seen two of them play just last night, 2 nights ago, and they
Huh?
play again on Friday. We're talking about Suns versus Warriors. Honestly, the two top teams in the league. I'll be honest, it makes sense that the Suns just took the number one spot in the ranking over the Warriors because they just beat them. But the
Yeah,
Warriors are still the number one team for me. The Suns are number two. Either way, you got the two hottest and the two best teams in the league pretty much going off again for the second time within a week. That game was a loss by the Warriors, and honestly, for the first time all season, Curry looked human.
terrible. He looked
Uh,
not human. He looked bad.
horrible,
He looked
horrible.
bad.
Yeah, definitely worse than human. Uh, Michael Bridges led a good defensive effort against him. They pretty much kept him uncomfortable, switched on everything, kept a hand in his face, and obviously he just had an off shooting night on top of that. For the rest of the team, obviously if Curry can only give you 12 points, then you're really not going to win the game. And it's weird because they're still the best team in the league right now, and a lot goes to because they're playing excellent, prolific defense,
Yep.
top-notch defense.
Mhm.
Obviously, Curry's giving you 27 on top of that. So that's a good start right there. You got Poole give you 18, Wiggins give you 18, and then just fill in the spot with a bunch of other role players. You definitely got a few other people giving you 6, 7, 9. Dre's giving you 8, 8, and 7. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. Obviously, he probably should be scoring a little more. By this point, we don't even expect that from him anymore. We just know we're not going to get it.
Right.
Yeah, so there's no point for that. But the team definitely got a lot of role players, but Curry leads that charge. So if he's not having a good game, they're definitely going to lose. And the best part is, up until that last game, he hasn't had a bad game. Pretty much been going off. But obviously, on the other side of that, Phoenix Suns are playing good, man. They're hot. A lot of people haven't really been talking about them, but they're confident as hell, man. DeAndre's playing bully ball in the paint. CP3's doing CP3 things. Definitely still an elite point guard at his age, which is obviously amazing. And obviously Booker's a certified bucket. Just like the Warriors, those role players on the Suns are playing their role, doing what they're supposed to do. Booker got 23 points. CP3 got 14 and 10. Obviously, those are assists. Aiden's giving you 16, 11. And then Michael is giving you 12 points. Surprisingly, this is something I want to point out. They got two other bigs averaging 10 points, and that's Kaminsky and McGee.
He-
So they definitely have found a way to get points in the paint while still being able to shoot the ball. So that's why they're hot. You know what I'm saying? They definitely gonna have a good shot at well they're no they're gonna definitely make the playoffs but have a good shot at contending. A lot of people wrote them off thinking it was a fluke of injured teams that they got to the finals. But at the end of the day, they're still a good team, and as long as that same team actually gets a little better, then yeah, they're 100% gonna come back, and they're playing like that already this year. With all that being said, obviously, like Curry's definitely doing his thing. Wiggins becoming that two-way player that he needs to be. Poole's having a hot year, shooting the lights out. Um, they're definitely not going to be able to stop Curry like that again for a second time in 1 week. Ain't no way in hell. I'll bet the house on that. I'll literally bet the house on that.
Damn. Oof.
There's no way that man comes out there and score less than 25. So pretty much, I'm gonna give this a 121 to 115 win for the Warriors. Curry wants his redemption. Redemption. They're gonna come out there, shoot hot, start hot, and their defense is gonna suffocate. Basically, find a way to run them off the line and stop them in the paint. And that's exactly what needs to happen for them to be successful. And I think they got it. So yeah, definitely a 6-point win by the Warriors. Close game. A couple foul shots at the end. But
Yeah.
either way, Curry's gonna have a great night. He's gonna have a redemption night and go off for sure.
Yeah, they usually play pretty close whenever they play anyways. Like they always have close games. One thing I'm agreeing with you on, I will agree that I think Curry's going to have a redemption night. I think that it was an aberration what happened to him the last time. I think he's definitely going to have not only a redemption night but a revenge night. I think my man might even go off for
And go for
40.
40.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
put up the
A hundred
40 spot.
percent what I'm thinking.
Uh,
100%.
But here's where I disagree with you though. What you said in the beginning, you said the Suns are not the best team in the league right now. Like what they just beat the Warriors. Doesn't matter if you think it was a fluke or not. Like if Curry had a back, they just beat who people thought were the number one team, and they're on a 17 game winning streak
Hey,
right now.
they are, but to me, the Warriors have faced better competition just a little
I
bit
don't
in the
know.
last few
Suns,
weeks.
the Suns have beaten the Lakers. The Suns have beaten the Clippers. They went out and beat the Milwaukee Bucks, and they just came and beat the
Mm,
Warriors. So I think going on the 17 game win, they already tied their own the Suns Phoenix franchise record on winning streaks 17. And if they go 24, 25, then they might go close to the NBA winning streak, which is pretty ridiculous. Especially a team like you said, a lot of people wrote them off last year. I mean, after last year, they went to the finals, they lost, but a lot of people thought that they weren't going to even get close to coming back, and they
hmm
definitely came back. As of this point, I do think that they're the best team, but obviously they're going to be playing in San Francisco this time, so it's going to look a little bit different. I do think that Curry's going to go off, so I do agree that the Warriors will win this game. You pointed it out pretty well. They pretty much have a great bench. Kaminga's been playing great. Jordan Poole's been playing great. You know,
Yes,
they got guys coming from everywhere. The way that the Suns were able to defend Curry is they were switching a lot on him, getting like you said, getting Bridges on him, but not only him, but also Aiton. And when Aiton was coming out there, he's got a lot of length. So he got 2 blocks as well that night. And like you said, they're using their bigs a lot. The Suns. I noticed because I watched that Suns and Warriors game, and they were doing a lot of pick and rolls. Chris Paul, you know what he does? He does that pick and roll, and JaVale
exactly.
open. JaVale McGee and DeAndre Ayton had at least like 5 or 6 times they were going down in the pick and roll and making just easy shots, like easy layups where they were open, down under the basket. So they definitely have that advantage when they're playing against the Warriors because Warriors don't really have many bigs. They're missing James Wiseman. Like you said, Draymond's not what Draymond used to be, and he's not really a center as big as Ayton. So I do think that the Suns are on the same level as the Warriors, and I don't know if you look at them in a 4 game series right now, looking at them, I might take the Suns in a 4 game series, but because this is in San Francisco, and I think Curry's gonna have his revenge game, I think that Curry will take it. I think that this Warriors are going to take this pretty handily, 121 to 110. I think it's going to be a revenge game for him. Yeah, but I'm not saying that by the end
That'll
of
be
the
a
year.
good one.
I think by the end of the year, the Warriors are going to be the best team in the league. Once they get Clay back, once they get James Wiseman back, they're going to be, totally different and even better than the Suns are now. But at this point, I think you got to say that the Suns are the best. You got to.
I hear you. 17 game win streak. I just like for me, they literally had to have Curry had probably the worst night we've seen in a year
I agree with you there. He definitely
for them to win.
it was aberration. If you're
That's what
right
I'm
there,
saying. Yeah.
if you different, I do agree that it would have been a different story. But that's the NBA. That's a 1 game. That's what it's about.
Nah, NBA is just pretty much ups and downs. Just trying to find ways to just walk away or win game after game. And honestly, next we're about to talk about two teams that no one knows what's going on.
They've been
We
struggling.
supposed,
These two.
we supposed to be having the argument over King of LA, and
Mm,
both these motherfuckers are sitting at 11-11 and 12-11. Clippers versus Lakers. That's the last game that we're going to talk about from Friday night. Obviously, a great lineup as you can see on Friday. We got a couple games on Saturday as well. But Friday night, man, is wrapping it up. Uh, Probably the Warriors game will probably be last though because of the time. But the right before that,
you know,
obviously prime time, you got Clippers versus Lakers. Exactly, exactly. That is just I mean, obviously you're gonna watch it. No Kawhi, no LeBron, at
right.
this point. But you're still gonna watch AD and Westbrook go up against Paul George and I guess Reggie Jackson.
That
I don't know,
culture.
man. To tell you
No,
where both these teams are at,
against
Lakers
them.
obviously right,
Got
exactly.
Keon Johnson on there. They got a few
They
guys.
it's supposed to be like a star-studded team, though.
Right. Right.
Even right now, I think Ibaka's getting pushed to the four, and Marcus Morris is getting pushed to the three. So
Yep.
they just trying to just do what they can do to make ends meet. But just to tell you where both these teams are, pretty much, Clippers is coming off a loss against the Kings. Lakers are coming off a win against the Kings.
It was a
Both
close
their
one.
last
Close
exactly.
one against
So
the
basically,
Kings.
both of them are not or barely better than the Kings, and right now that's barely beat the Kings, and now LeBron's about to be out. So at this point, they're not looking too good for both of them. Clippers bench pretty much been subpar and suspect all year. They come out shooting flat a lot this year. They live and die by the three. That's been their motto the last year or two, and pretty much this year they've been dying by it. And that's definitely been shooting them in the foot a lot of games. Honestly, man, PG's doing his thing. He's giving you 25, 7, and 5. Obviously, Reggie's putting a little bit of support. They had a couple other role players barely giving you 10 points. Now, that's what I mean, barely giving you 10 points. And that's Luke Kennard, Terrence Mann, and obviously Zubac.
Fuck.
The question is, without Kawhi, how far can this team really go? You know? Like, it seems like they.
Seeing it, you're kind of seeing how far they're going. They're a middle of the road team, middle of the pack.
Exactly. Exactly. And they pretty much put the bank into PG 13 and Kawhi. Right now, you got one of them that can't even, they basically have to beg him to even come to games and be present with the team. If it was up to him, he would just wouldn't even care and be doing what he's doing. Not as in caring, but like he would not be around the team doing that if he was injured. Um, on the other side, you got the Lakers, man. Definitely trash. There's no other way to say it. The Lakers are not good this year. LeBron's finally getting hit with Father Time. Injuries are coming. He's missing time. Now he's out for some COVID restrictions for this game. The whole
Actually,
team is injury prone.
you know what? I think he got cleared. I think he got cleared by safety protocol. So we'll see what happens with him.
So he might be
He,
playing this
so
game.
yeah, today they were announcing he got cleared for safety protocol, but well, I don't know if he's going to play or not. He didn't. They didn't say if he was going to play or not yet. They just say he got cleared.
Got you. So that's less than 24 hours away. We don't know at this point. I'm just gonna say he's not playing. If he
Yeah,
is playing, I
right.
think we'll get to that when I get to my prediction. Basically, whole Lakers team injury prone. AD's not having a greatest year. Now, crazy because he's giving you 24-10, but his shot selection has not been good this year. He's just taking too many shots away from the basket that are contested. And yeah, you can hit those, but you don't need to. You shouldn't be relying on those. You should definitely be getting the fundamentals, getting your points, getting get yourself to the basket, and obviously take those shots when you need to take those shots. Um, we could sit here and talk about Westbrook for hours. My man definitely is just something else. Obviously, he's still doing what he's supposed to do, giving you 28 and 8. But at the end of the day, him and AD don't have no sort of cohesiveness on the court. They're not good. The chemistry between them is not that great. Obviously, LeBron's a good buffer in between both of them. But then you got not that many shooters on the court at that point. Like it's just clogging up things. And I feel like the Lakers aren't honestly running the type of offense. Like the way they use AD just frustrates me sometimes when I see what he's trying to do. And I don't know, man. They're just stagnant on offense, barely have any defense. Good thing. Obviously, Melo's coming off the bench, giving you 14 points. You got a little bit help with injuries, having Monk and Horton Tucker step up. They're both averaging 10. So basically, with this game, it's just going to be a PG versus AD. Um, as weird as it sounds, yes, Westbrook's going to get more assists and more rebounds, but I feel like him and Reggie Jackson pretty much negate each other out.
Mm,
And then it just become a game of role players. So as
right.
long as Melo can have a fantastic game, they might be able to win. But right now, I'm gonna give this just because I think the Clippers are due one PGs. They don't have no one in the perimeter to guard PG 13. They have bodies like specifically like they're about to start Ibaka, even though he's a shell of himself. They're about to start Ibaka to guard AD. So I think the if LeBron don't play, the Clippers won't be able to score that great, and definitely pretty much are gonna they're gonna win. The Clippers are gonna win. So I got a 109 or 101 Clippers win if LeBron don't play. Now, if he does play, I think I could give the Lakers that win. They do well against their cross-time rivals at full strength. Obviously, right now with no LeBron, then I'll have to give the Clippers that edge. But with LeBron, I'll definitely give the Lakers a 4-point win. Um, I'll probably go 103 to 107.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. With LeBron, I think the Lakers win for sure. Without Kawhi, no Kawhi right now. He's probably going to be out another 10 games at least. They said he's not going to come back till at least Christmas.
Mhm.
So I mean, let him take his rest because you know that they're just waiting for the playoffs anyways. I mean, like you said, they live by the three, they die by the three. That's the Clippers, that is. And this year, you're right. They've been dying by the three. They're 12th in 3-point percentage overall. I mean, that's not the worst. That's middle of the pack. That's not where you want to be if you want to be, a top caliber team, especially if that's the type of game you're playing. Um, they don't score a lot of points this year. They're on the lower half of points, 106 points a game. They're 18th. So that's a problem for them because the Lakers actually, that's one thing they do is they score a lot of points even though they don't necessarily win as many games as they have this year. You would think that they would win more games even without LeBron. They still have a pretty good team around AD. I would say I agree with you totally that they're using AD 100% wrong. I need to see a lot more from AD. He's giving you like you said 24 and 10 easily, but he needs to give me like I want to see those games where he's giving you like 30 and 20. Like he's had games like that easily, and he could easily do that on any given night. My man is 7 foot and he's standing outside the 3-point line waiting for the ball, trying to dribble it inside where he should be trying to post up. I mean, this is the first year you've seen him as a center. So he is trying to get into it a little bit more. They moved him to the center and they moved LeBron at the power forward. So, it's getting him some time to maybe getting adjusted to it, but he's not playing the position correctly and Frank Vogel isn't using them right. Um, but I will disagree with you about Westbrook. I think Westbrook's been playing pretty well the last like 10 games. Beginning of the season, he was trash. He was terrible, giving up like at least 5 to 8 turnovers a game. But the last 10 games, he's had triple doubles, yeah, but he's only had like 2 or 3 turnovers on average. So that's really good to see from him. And Carmelo's been stepping it up, so that's good for them. Now on the Clippers side, I think that Paul George has literally taken over this team, and I think he should be a MVP candidate. Even though their record might not show it, they're still fourth or what are they like eighth in the West. They're still like up there for in the West, which obviously there's only a few games between third and eighth. If you look at it, so they're in contention right now for one of the top spots, and I think Paul George is definitely playing at an MVP level, but I'm definitely going to need to see more from the role players like Terrence Mann and Zubac. Honestly, I think this might be a big game for Zubac because he's got a lot bigger body than AD, and he's going to be able to just take over on the inside. I think Zubac could easily get 20 points in this game. This could easily be one of those games where he gets 20 points. And honestly, that's one of my big keys in this game is the inside game of the Clippers. I think they're gonna get a lot more points inside, a lot more points in the paint. And I agree with you. I think this is going to be a win for them. I think they're going to win this one pretty close, actually. 113-108 is what I got. A 5-point game in this one.
Okay. No, definitely. Obviously they're not top of the top anymore, but it still should be a good battle for the king of LA. Obviously, no matter who's at home, it's more than likely a home game for the Lakers.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm pretty sure it actually is a home game for the Clippers, but that don't matter.
Not matter.
Um,
You got
not at all.
up there. Yep.
Not at all. So it's definitely gonna be good to see. Got a couple superstars on both sides. Like you said, PG-13 is playing fantastic basketball. He's playing real good basketball right now. So definitely good to see what's going on. But
I
I
know
don't
both
know.
of these. I know both of these teams are doing pretty bad, but I can't really worry about any of like the Lakers or the Clippers until the playoffs or until the last like 20 games of the season, just because they really don't have everyone out there. like Lakers with LeBron, they haven't been able to play with Russ. Obviously, Clippers, Kawhi is out. They haven't been getting
Hmm.
everyone together. So, like towards the end of the season, I'll be able to judge, who's better out of the two, out of the Clippers and Lakers. But right now, I really can't judge. They're so even. Like they really are very even teams, Lakers and Clippers.
No, definitely. That's why I said, like, uh, with the way the injuries and father times going for the Lakers team, um, Clippers still pretty much are sticking with them, even without Kawhi. Kawhi comes back, it's a different story.
Right. Right.
No, so that, like I said, that might be the last game. More than likely, Warriors might just go on last because of the time difference, in the time zone. But either way, that's gonna be a star-studded Friday night with a lot of good teams playing
Friday
each
night.
other.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a couple good lineups, and there was honestly a couple games from Saturday that we wanted to discuss as well.
For sure. So
First
then
one we wanted to talk.
December 4th.
Yes,
Those are the Friday, December 4th. Now we're gonna go on to Friday, December, or sorry, Saturday, December 5th.
third. No, the games we just talked about were short. The third.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Say that. Say
Yes,
that.
the
'Cause I
games
meant
we just talked about is
up.
for the third, and now we're about to move on to the fourth, December 4th, which is a Saturday, and
Right.
talk
I
about a
definitely
few games from that Saturday.
bad
I
numbers.
was
That's
saying, hey,
why you're the
I
stats guy.
was. Nah, I hear you. I hear you. But nah, the first game, obviously, I want to talk about is best team in the East facing a very, very surprising top team this year. That's going to be Bulls versus Nets Saturday night, and it's about to be a hell of a game. Bulls, they're playing great. No one's seen it coming. Obviously, they came out with a whole new team with a couple different signings. But either way, no one expected them to be this nice. They're playing excellent on both sides of the ball, and that's a big key. Shooting well, not just from three, but from mid range, finding a way to protect themselves from turnovers, not turning the ball over a lot, and obviously playing great D. The Bulls are looking real good right now. They're definitely, it's no fluke. They're definitely going to be contenders in the East. And right now, DeMar DeRozan or DeBalzac is playing absolutely ridiculous. You got DeMar with 25, 5 and 4, Levine with 25, 5 and 3, and Lonzo with 12, 5 and 4. And Lonzo's having a hell of a year, not specifically points wise, but shot selection and shooting percentage. He's doing his thing, showing a whole new side of him, showing that you can change your form. And then obviously you got Vucevic giving you 14, 11, and 4 as well. So that's four players right now playing excellent basketball. You got Caruso and a decent bench with Gafford, just pretty much giving you giving you things that you need to do to pretty much win games.
Russo's
Exactly. So
defensive of the year candidate as of this moment. I
mm,
mean, that's by NBA.com standards, not mine. That's what
uh,
NBA.com said.
so
He's
now
averaging 0.5 steals on like a block and a half a game. Being a six 6 foot guy averaging a block and a half a game, that's crazy.
he's definitely doing his thing. Definitely underestimated defender. But on the other end, man, Brooklyn just has so much. They're trying to get things together. It seemed like obviously they have a little bit, a couple pieces that at this point they expect to carry. So no Kyrie, they really threw a wrench into their plan, and that changed their whole team up. But pretty much you got Durant and you got Harden. You can't do nothing to stop them, men. They're giving you 28, 7 and 5. That's obviously KD, which appreciate the assist effort this year. Now with no Kyrie, everyone's been taking up that slack, especially KD. He's been asked to do a little more, and the fact that he's averaging 5 or 6 for me show that he's been stepping up. Harden's giving you 21, 8, and 9. Obviously, almost triple double numbers, still giving you 9 assists as well. So basically, you got the whole, you got the whole, well, not the whole, but you got the two stars basically doing what they're supposed to do. Good thing as well, you got Patty and Harris shooting very, very well right now. Both giving you like 11, 12 points a game. And then the surprise, basically, and Lord knows what happened because my man basically almost freaking retired. But LaMarcus Aldridge is basically having a
Mom,
freaking Yeah, his career has just been rejuvenated. He freaking resurrected from the dead, and now is giving them 13-6 doing the work. Obviously they picked up a couple other pieces. The role players are, you know, doing all right. But as long as you got Joe and Patty doing what they're supposed to do, Lamarcus doing what he needs to do, and KD and Harden, there's not many teams that can stop them when they're playing their best basketball. So I think they definitely bring out that best basketball this Saturday, and I definitely give this like 121 to 111 win for the Nets.
Pretty handled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so I mean, if you look at these teams on paper, like if you look at their stats on paper, they're very similar. You know, they both score like 109 points a game. Their 3 point percentage is similar. The one thing that the Bulls have over the Brooklyn Nets is, like you said, their mid range game is amazing. Zach Levine and DeMar DeRozan, they're pretty much taking over. They're pretty much the best at the mid range. You know, if you look at the whole league as a whole, those two guys are probably up there for definitely some of the top mid range guys. You know, maybe
Hmm.
Y is up there as well. There's maybe a few other guys, but I mean DeMar is up there for sure, and they're number one in field goal percentage. So that's a big reason why they've been winning all these games. I mean, it's not a big surprise to us because I remember at the beginning of the season we talked about the Chicago Bulls and we had high hopes for them. I had them at least a top four seed in the East. So I definitely saw big things from them. Right now, even Vucevic, he's not even playing his best basketball at all. I think if he steps it up, they could be even more potent. You know, he's not even averaging over 10 rebounds a game because he's not he's only averaging 28 minutes. Where back in Orlando, he was averaging like 32 minutes. So if they get him up to his potential in minutes, and right now they just don't need him because they're blowing out some teams, I think that he's definitely going to step it up. And this might be a good game for him to step it up because, I mean, you don't have many bigs on the Brooklyn side. Yeah, you got Lamarcus Aldridge, but other than him, you got Brooke Lopez, so other than,
You
like I
got
said,
nothing.
LaMarcus, you got nothing. So you're gonna want to utilize your bigs. The one thing about the Brooklyn Nets is how they win their games is you're right. They're two stars. The two stars, they play, you know, pretty much pick up basketball. Either take the ball to 3 point line, take your man one on one. Obviously, they do a lot of screens. They do a lot of all ball screens, so they're able to get their 3 point guys open, like Joe Harris. He's been able to
Hmm.
play like the Curry role, where he's just like playing off ball, running around with screens. He's been playing that pretty well. But yeah, they've been winning, taking the three, or you know, Harden and KD's been going inside for a layup or a dunk, and that's how they've been winning games. I definitely think that this is going to be a tough game for them though, because Chicago plays pretty good defense. Like I said, Caruso is up there for defensive player of the year candidate. He really is. He's getting over like 2 steals a game, and this is not me saying it. This is NBA.com saying it. I was wrong where I thought he was going to be close to a six man. He's just not getting enough minutes to be a six man to get his points, but he's definitely getting great. He's giving you great stuff on defense, and I don't think the Brooklyn has somebody like that. They don't really have guys on the bench that could play defense like that. Like maybe Patty Mills, but you know, Patty Mills, he might start this game. We'll see. I mean, we'll see if he's going to start or not. But other than that, they don't got many defenders really, other than Lamarcus Aldridge, but he's a big and he's getting like one block a game for you. For that reason, I think that the Chicago Bulls are going to take this game. I think that they're going to be able to
Oh
play him
wow.
pretty defense, and actually they're going to be able to play Harden on defense good. DeMar DeRozan is going to be able to take him. He plays pretty good defense. He's got lengthy arms. He'll be able to play him pretty well, especially on the 3 point line. I know that they like to do a lot of switches with Harden, but I feel like if Zach and Demar, if they're able to switch on Harden, they can take him. So I got this game honestly a 109-107 game. I got this very close. I think this is going to come down to the last possession. You know, the last like 30 seconds of the game. That's what I think. It's going to be a closer game, lower scoring. They're not going to get into the 120s.
Oh wow. No, I definitely think it's going to be a good competitive game. Probably one of the best games we'll see this weekend.
Yep,
Um, I just think when the Nets get hot, they get hot.
they definitely go.
So
for me, I just feel like they're losing. They still are losing something from Kyrie. They need Kyrie back. They need him to be
for
that
sure.
top team want to be. You know, be that legendary team. They need Kyrie.
No, they definitely do for sure. So they definitely got to find a way to pick it up. Um, but honestly, they're not the only team in the East that got to find a way to pick it up. Another team that, or another matchup I want to talk about are still two teams in the East as well. And that's the Heat versus the Bucks. Um, I definitely spent like 2 minutes making this up, but the Heat been falling off the Buck while the Bucks been heating up. I know.
Mm,
I'm yeah, yeah, yep. But pretty much, it's just a tale of two different sides of the same coin. Both are pretty much playing different types of basketball right now. The
right, right.
Heat, I'm a little worried because at the end of the day, is Jimmy really the same dog?
Mm,
Like he's giving you 25 or 23, 5-5, but like that's not enough to like take over and win games. Like he's not doing what he's supposed to doing. And we all a few years ago touted him for being that alpha dog, pretty much just taking over when he need to. And then he went to Miami and basically took a back seat to almost everyone he could. And I don't know, it's just not the type of basketball that he needs to be playing for that Heat team for that Heat team to be the best team it can be.
agree,
Um,
agree.
Bam himself be disappearing way too often. I mean, he's definitely giving you 18 and 10, but he's way too inconsistent. And at the end of the day, he's not the best defender either. Yeah, he's doing his thing, but like when you contend against really big bigs, he's just a body at that point.
Oh, he's less
Um,
one. He's 6'9". Yeah.
Exactly. Good news is Hero's definitely playing great, great basketball with 21 points a game. I'll definitely give him that props. And obviously, Duncan's out there still trying to shoot, giving you 10 points a game. So you got a good Heat team, but like I said, they've been giving up a lot of games recently, not playing cohesively. Pretty much no one really knows what's going on right now. At this point, we're like what 2 years in from their finals appearance.
Yep.
What's going on with them? What's their identity? They picked up PJ Tucker, try to get a little tougher on defense, but at the end of the day, that wasn't the issue.
Hmm.
So I don't know. But at the other end, Bucks are playing good basketball and they're starting to heat up. Giannis is playing good on both sides of the ball. He's really shining, coming into his own. Had a great game on a very close win against the Hornets recently. Definitely, just getting in his bag. Last year, I kept saying my man have no moves, and this year he's pulling a lot out already. So you
Yeah.
definitely could tell he's been working on his game, and that's good to see. At the end of the day, what the hell's happening to Chris Middleton? Like Giannis giving you MVP
Big
numbers, and
right
Chris
there.
Middleton's barely giving you 17 points a game. He's been missing some time, obviously, but something's wrong with him. Luckily, Holiday is pretty much doing what he's supposed to do. Portis is coming in when people are injured, and he's averaging 15 now. Obviously, Holiday was giving you that 14 and 6. Grayson Allen is starting to come into his own,
He's
really
playing good.
shine through. Yep, giving you 14 points now. Grayson Allen is finally showing that potential that he showed at Duke. And then
Right.
obviously you got Pat, uh, who's a shooter, giving you 12 points a game. So either way, I think the Bucks are playing excellent right now. Even if Chris, I don't even know if he's gonna play, but either way, he's just not looking at his 100% self. And I definitely think Giannis. No one can stop Giannis on that team. They're gonna try to put Bam on him, which pretty much gonna take at least 4 points off of Bam. So at that point, Bam is probably only gonna give you like 14 points. Who do you think they playing?
So real quick about Bam. So he just got injured and he's gonna be out for 20 games. Yeah, they just announced it. Yeah, today.
And then it's over. I was gonna give it a 123 to 113 Bucks win. I'll be honest. At that point, I'll probably end up giving like like 15, 20 point blowout.
Wow.
Easily a blowout. Yeah, because the Heat just dropped. Who they just dropped the game to that was just trash.
Yeah, they
Oh, it
just
was
the Heat, but Milwaukee hasn't been playing great at all season. I mean, I know that they did win recently. They won. Was
hey,
it
they
the
14 and 8. At
They
this
are.
point, every team lost over 5, 6 games except for the Warriors and Sun.
No, for sure. No, for the Bucks, I was very hard on them in the beginning of the season for
And
sure.
Nets.
And that's too. They've been stepping up, but right now they did just have 9 in a row, which is huge. They won 9 in a row. The Bucks did, so that's huge for them. It's huge for them to come back in the East. I do think you're right that pretty much everybody on Milwaukee took a step back, though, other than a guy like Grayson Allen, who's just getting in there, and then Pat Covington took a step up. But I think they're missing a little something from PJ Tucker. They're missing a little bit of defense there too, and Middleton needs to step up on his defense. I don't know if it's injuries or something, and he just doesn't have his step back game. But when he's moving backwards, he's not moving as fast. He looks like he was getting crossed over a few times on the game that I was watching against Charlotte, and that's one thing they're gonna have to figure out is their defense. Because if you remember last year, they were prolific at defense. They were one of the top
Hmm.
defensive teams. Right now, I just found out that Brooke Lopez is going to be out as well. He's got a
Mm.
back surgery, so he's going to be injured. So they're missing some key guys too, especially a big guy in the paint like that. To go against a guy like Bam. I think the Bam injury is huge, though. It's definitely huge for Miami. They needed a guy like that, and I agree with your point where you said that they don't have an identity. Miami, they really don't have any type of identity. They try to bring in Kyle Lowry. He's been playing good. He's getting
You
like
know
seven
what?
assists.
Yeah, he definitely giving them 12-7, and I
He's
definitely didn't even mention him. But that's because he's honestly at this point he was supposed to be so much better than Dragic, but is he really giving you anything different?
thinking about the same. That's what I was just gonna
That's what I'm
go. That's
saying.
literally where I was gonna go with this. I literally was thinking about Dragic, and I was thinking back to a few years ago. I'm like, if you remember, Dragic was giving you the same thing, and they were actually playing a lot better because you had guys like Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson stepping it up. Like Hero stepping it up now, but I'm gonna need to see more from Duncan Robinson on Miami, especially when you don't really have that many scorers. Like you got Hero, you got Bam, and you got man Jimmy. That's who your
That's
scorers
it.
are. That's it. And then Duncan's going to need to be that number one guy from the bench for sure. He's got to be. He's going to need to score like at least 15, not just 10. He's going to need to give me 15 average. And
Hmm.
I think that the Bam injury is huge as well. I definitely think so. And just the way that Milwaukee's playing right now, they're just hot right now. They've been playing really well. I think that even without Middleton, if he doesn't play, I feel like Milwaukee's just playing so good right now that they're going to take this game. They're going to take it over. I think you're right. It's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a
Hmm.
17-point game for me. So I got this 119-102. Yeah, that Bam
No,
injury. I don't think that, I don't think that they're going to stay where they are too with him being injured for 20 games. Right now they're 13-9. I could definitely see him going 10-10 in the next 20 games with a Bam injury.
yeah, and that's not good at all. It's still middle of the pack, and what already seems to be a somewhat competitive East, which is surprising this year.
East
Exactly.
is better than the West. If you look at the East, they have more teams over 500 than the West does. That's
That's what I'm
it's big,
saying. Like
big.
right now, we got the Celtics just over 500, and I think they're like in playing tournament.
Yep, yep.
Like, yeah, it's pretty rough for it right now in the East. Um,
Pretty bad.
but yes, obviously, come on, Bulls versus Nets, Heat versus Buck, two amazing games on Saturday night. That's what we're here for the prime time showing.
Great match.
Basically, can't wait to see both of those games. Definitely hope they're competitive, but it's NBA basketball. It's not always like that. So we'll definitely see what they have to offer. But obviously, we didn't just come here to talk about games, man. We want to see what's going on, what's the hot topics, man. Throw in a couple of who you got, like that's what we do. First thing I definitely want to talk about, or it's a question I want to ask. Basically, talk about some of the new faces in the NBA. Pretty much, I know our last episode, I think probably a month ago when we dropped NBA, we did our offensive rookie of the year.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure both of us picked Jalen Green from the Rockets.
Yep,
Excellent, excellent showing in the summer league.
yep.
Definitely looked like he had all the potential. A versatile wing. Pretty much at this point, he's on a Rockets team that he should pretty much be able to shine. I'll be honest, it's not looking that great. He's still in top five, but he's not top three candidate anymore when it comes to rookie of the year. There's rookies out there with a little bit more minutes, a little bit better stats, a little bit better percentage,
Yeah.
and quite honestly, on more relevant teams.
Hmm.
So right now at this point, he is not in top three rookie of the year candidate, and that changed in just a month. So I figure we're throwing a who you got about that. Uh, Pretty much who you got, yes. Who you got, Rado? Offensive rookie of the year.
Man, I was going back and forth with this one but you're right. Like Jalen Green fell off a little bit for sure. I think he's still top five. I don't think he's top three anymore. Um, but we're gonna need to see more from him. I think he'll step it up later.
Hmm.
But who I'm pushing my pick to right now, who I think right now is the offensive rookie of the year, is gonna be a man that not many people know about because not many people see this team play. From the Toronto Raptors, Scotty Barnes Jr.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
So I mean, I talked about him a little bit in our preview episode. I said to watch for him. I said he was going to be definitely one of top in his class for sure. He's a big body. You know, power forward. He
Hmm.
plays big. Gets you a lot of rebounds. His average is 15.4 points right now. Top rookie right now in points, and he's got 8.2 assists. I'm sorry, 8.2 rebounds. Who's the top rebound getter? I mean, I was honestly going back and forth between two guys because there's one guy that I love watching, and Evan Mobley, and
Hmm.
he's been playing great too. He's
Cavaliers.
got
Yep.
similar stats. He's got 8.2 assists with Barnes and 14.5 points. But I do think there's other guys too we could put in there. I just think that right now Scotty Barnes is giving you a lot for a team in Toronto that needs points. They need a big defender as well, a guy like that can defend. Him and Pat and Siakam are really like some of the best tallest, lengthy defenders like you have in the NBA. And he's
Hmm.
already in his first year, and he's showing you that how good he's playing. If you look at his PER just on defense, he's got a 29.7 PER, and that right there is 30th in the league for a rookie. That's pretty amazing to have a top PER like that. He's up there with guys like Steph Curry and like Anthony Davis is up there. Like guys they've been in the league for a while. So his defense has been good. He's giving you points for a team like Toronto that needs points because they lost a lot of guys. They lost a lot of players, lately. They got Fred VanVleet out there who's giving you some points, but you need points from him. And I'm seeing a lot of good things from Scotty Barnes. And I think that as of right now, I'm gonna have to give him my pick. I know Evan Mobley's been playing pretty well. He's been showing, a lot of great things from.
Hmm.
I do think in the future, Evan Mobley, might have a great career, a really great career. But as of right now, I'm looking at Scotty Barnes as giving you both offense and defense. Who you got though
No,
for offensive rookie? There's a lot of candidates you can put up there though. There's a lot of guys that are playing pretty good.
no, there definitely is. Obviously, like I said, I had Jalen starting off, but he's pretty much on an irrelevant team in the Rockets, shooting a little worse than most people expected. And right now, it's not getting no coverage at this point. You just pretty much named two of the top three rookies above him right now, and Scotty Barnes and Evan Mobley. Scotty's obviously playing prolific basketball for a rookie. Definitely playing good, good percentage, very lengthy. Obviously, he's also playing the most minutes right now for a rookie. Mobley, people were a little worried about what spot he could carve out on that very crowded front court for the Cavs, but it seems like he's shown what he can do, and he's already getting a spot. So he's also doing what he's supposed to be doing. My pick is the third rookie, and that's the number one pick, Cade Cunningham.
Ooh.
He definitely got a late start. I will be honest, but right now the Pistons are buzzing. He's
Mhm.
buzzing. After that late start, he's still coming out and rounding out his averages at 13, 6, and 5, and just had his first career triple double against the Lakers. So that just lets you know he's tall, he's versatile, he's lengthy, he can give you everything, he can score, and he's trying to get better as a defender. I think that him and new look bad boy Pistons, since your boy, since your boy, since the old hometown hero Isaiah
All right.
decided that he wanted to be a tough guy.
That's
Right now, the Pistons are getting a lot of attention right now. That's what I'm saying. Right now, the Pistons are hot. Kate Cunningham is hot. At the end of the day, he is the number one pick, and he was the number one pick for a reason. And I think he's starting to come into his own. Obviously, he wasn't in the conversation early on because he was injured. But we'll definitely see what he has to offer. And like I said, he's going to be 13, 6, and 5 with a triple double on his belt already. Definitely let you know that's a special kid when they don't have that many options over there either. So I'm definitely excited to see all these rookie plays. But that's who I got from my rookie of the year, Kate Cunningham.
so yeah, I gotta agree with you that it's very special watching that triple double from him. Being that young early in your career to be able to do a little bit of everything is amazing to see. And those stats that you read off on him, he definitely has the most assists out of all rookies. So he's definitely showing that he can pass the ball early on as well. Honestly, the reason why I have Scotty Barnes though is because I mean, if you look at the Raptors, they're playing just a little bit better than Detroit Pistons. I know Detroit, they might win a few more games now, but lately they just haven't been. I mean, you saw them play two back-to-back games against the Lakers, one that should have been won, and he actually had a costly turnover. Cade Cunningham was in the last minute of the game. He lost the ball, and that's when they were tied up. And then Lakers came. They won by 3 after that, but uh, that was an issue for me to watch that, and I just need to see them win more games. To be honest, I feel like like rookie of the year, it doesn't really matter as much as MVP to be the top team, but I
Right,
feel
right,
like
right.
it shows a little bit. It definitely shows if you can bring your team, to a higher winning record. I definitely think it shows something. Right now Toronto is ranked 12th. They're 2 games back from a playing tournament, and Detroit, they're pretty much out of it. They're 4-17 right now, 7 games back from a play-in, but you never know. Things could always change. I'm seeing a lot from Scotty Barnes right now. What he's giving you on the defensive level, plus getting 8 rebounds as a rookie is pretty tough. I mean, Evan Mobley's doing it too, and watching him do it is very special too. Uh, but I mean, Toronto they have nobody, so they needed a guy like Barnes, and he's actually stepping up.
No, I definitely hear you. I'll be honest. At this point, Scotty Barnes, Kate Cunningham, and Evan Mobley are actually sitting at a three-way tie for Rookie of the Year, and then Jalen Green's right behind him. Um,
I kind of agree
so
with that, honestly. Yeah, I think you're totally right there. I mean, we can talk about other guys like Frank Wagner's playing pretty good. He's got like 13 points a game. Obviously, you got Suggs in Orlando as well, who's got like 12.
hmm
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much those three and Jalen behind them.
no, for sure. So I can't wait to how Access in 2 more months. Definitely see how that race is heating up. See what we have to offer. Um, but
But I'm gonna
obviously that's
prediction, though. I'm gonna make a prediction. I think in 2 months, I think the top two are gonna be Green and Mobley. I think Barnes might take a step back. I think his minutes are going to get lower. I don't think
mm,
they use him up this early in his career because they know that they're not going to make the playoffs. I don't know. I see Green and Barnes definitely, hopefully stepping out. That's just my prediction. I mean,
I
it's
don't
a
know. I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
I underestimated how little coverage the media gives Houston. Right now, no one's really
Sure,
caring about Houston.
but they're not playing good. They're not playing good. That's why.
They're not going
Um,
to play good,
but even Toronto's not getting coverage, and they're playing okay. And
which is why I don't give it to Scotty.
yeah,
Which is why I give it to Cade. Yeah, that's why I give it to Cade. 'Cause right now, Detroit's getting the most coverage right now.
I can see that.
Um,
I saw my man Jalen Green go for a 28-point game just recently, so I could see him go for 30 or more a few games and
I
bring
mean,
his
they're
average.
all come on, they're top rookies for a reason. They all about to come out here in the league and do their thing. So
But
definitely, they're gonna make it hard to choose.
Cade is more of like a 20 and 10 guy, like 20 points, 10 assists. Jalen Green could definitely get you 30. I feel like later in his career he'll be easily averaging like those type of numbers, 25 a game, 27 a game. I could easily see him doing that
Oh
with
yeah,
Cade.
no. He's a certified scorer. Cade gives you everything.
Yeah, exactly. Cade is more of a, a little bit better shooter, Ben Simmons type.
No, for sure, for sure. And either way, all of them will have successful careers. Definitely can't wait to see it down the line. Definitely hope they continue the hot seasons.
Sure. Great
But
rookie.
speaking of hot,
Yeah.
so here's the thing, because we kind of just touched on this right now. The next question I want to ask is about the Warriors.
Ooh.
Are they the best team in NBA? Now, I want to say that because we just talked about it. You said that technically they are second because the Suns just beat them, but I mean as a whole.
Hmm.
So I'll pretty much go first and tell you what I mean because I'm explaining. So 18-3 obviously just lost to the Suns. First time they've been held to under 100 points all season. The only team actually that up until that game they were the only team that haven't reached under 100 points so far. So basically, it was 20 games in, and was like I said, the Curry gives you 27, having 18 from Wiggins, 18 from Poole, and obviously the role players just do the rest, all while playing the top defense in the league. Literally, they definitely have the top defense in the league by far. Second in offensive efficiency. Throw that with a couple more stats together, that gives you a net of 13.6. Definitely just outscoring their opponents by a lot. Obviously, Curry's having an MVP season. Like I said, Wiggins is finally coming into his own, showing what he's supposed to be. Kuminga is definitely starting to show a little bit more potential. And at the end of the day, they're missing Clay and they're missing Wiseman.
Yeah.
That's where it comes to where I
I
say even if the Suns did beat them, they're still the best team in the league because they're basically the best team in the league, not at full strength. And so the fact that they're getting both of those players back this year, Warriors are the best team in the league right now. Even with what people saying they're gonna get Clay and Wiseman back before the season started, no one predicted them to be the best team. But right now, I have no doubts in my head that if Clay comes back and Wiseman come back and Warriors continue to play how they're playing, they're walking away and you're about to be calling Curry and Clay four-time champions.
see. I get what you're saying there. I get what you're saying, but the way you asked the question was at this, like, are they the best team right now? Right?
Right.
Are they the best team right now? And right now they don't have Clay. Right now they don't have Wiseman. Uh, just last week they got beat by the Suns. You saw that they're beatable. I mean, and a team
I
they're
mean, every
beatable by
team in the league is beatable.
every team can lose. Every team, nobody goes 82-0 for sure. But they're beatable by a team that has just as good a ranking as them is. And you read off the offensive efficiency, they're second, but their number one is the Suns. So you got a team that's really good, potent in offense. A guy in Chris Paul who rejuvenated his career again in the Suns. Like he really did. Right now he's averaging only 14 points, but he's giving you that 10 assists a game, which is crucial for them.
Hmm.
I mean, we talked about, their game and who they have on the roster, who's playing. The one thing I will bring back up is their bigs. The way that they're winning games this year, they're doing a lot of those pick and rolls and getting those bigs on the inside. They got DeAndre Ayton, they got Alex Len, they got Kaminsky, they got what was his name, JaVale McGee. So they got four guys that can legitimately go inside and get you 10 and 10 if
Right.
needed. And each one of those guys is playing very well right now. And I'm gonna need to see that commitment from them to keep playing that type of style. Because if they start turning into more of a 3-point shooting team, um, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna lie. I could see the Warriors obviously outplaying them in that type of style of game. The way that they beat the Warriors is what they did last game, and if they can get Steph Curry to shoot, bad, a few times in a series, then that's a plus for you. That's definitely a plus. You're gonna need to switch, get your bigger guys on them, like Bridges, like DeAndre Ayton, and hopefully he doesn't, cross you over and go around you and get the layup. Um, at the end of the season, you might be right, but at this point, I got to give it to the Suns. They just beat the Warriors. They've been playing tough competition. They're on a 17-game win streak. At this moment, I just see the Suns. They're just slightly better. They're literally neck and neck. I just see the Suns just a little bit better, just a little bit. But I think I agree with you 100% with Clay, with Wiseman. It's 100% the Warriors. The Warriors and no one else.
No, it's crazy 'cause like I said, obviously no one actually had that decision. Even knowing how if Clay and Wiseman come back before the season started, everyone's like, nah, the Warriors just not the Warriors.
Remember our preview episode? Who had them going to the Western Conference Finals? I had them going to the Western
And
Conference.
you had Curry for MVP, which is 100% what's looking like might happen because my man is, hey, well, that's what happens. Last year, he walked with the scoring
Right?
title, wasn't MVP because his team was trash.
Mm-hmm.
This year, he's topping the West. Everyone wants him as an MVP. And
Back
that's
to
how it works. Unfortunately, you have to be on a good team, on a winning team, to be in the MVP conversation, which definitely should be the opposite, obviously.
right,
Um,
right.
but hey, what can you do? Um, Obviously, it's between Suns and Warriors. Like I said, everyone was clowning the Suns, but at the end of the day, they went to the finals last year, and right now they're showing that they came back with the same team, but a little bit better. And at that point, that puts them right back in the finals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, well, at this point, the Lakers and Clippers
But give
clearly
it
no
to
one,
a
you
team
know,
like Brooklyn at full strength. I mean at full strength maybe, but right now no, right?
at
Brooklyn's
this
not.
point, I would love to see Brooklyn Nets versus Warriors at full strength.
Yeah, full
I would
strength.
love to see that. I would
That would
love to see
line
that.
up. Yeah, for sure.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but either way, obviously both those teams top of the league right now. I think Warriors are the best team. You think Suns are the best team. We'll
This
agree to
could all
disagree.
change Sunday. Don't I mean if
Right,
I say
exactly. They got one more game in them, and that's why, like, I think that one game was just that one game. Once Curry come back, show everyone drop 40 and come back, and he's about to be right back on top. And the question is, what happened? Our Warriors are the best league or best team, blah blah blah. But here's one thing we can see if we agree on or not, and that's about a team that's not the best team by far. I'll be honest, man. Almost 2 months in, I had to throw in a question about my boys. What the hell is going on with them? What are we doing? The Celtics are, like I said earlier, playing subpar basketball by far. Question is, are the Celtics in trouble? You know what? Let me
you want
take
to say
this
this one?
one. You
It's
already know how I do.
yeah, say it.
You already know how I
I got
do, man. Right now, I'll be honest. I'm just gonna answer the question first. I'm just gonna say yes.
uh,
Absolutely yes. First off, rip. The
yeah,
problems we had last year are the problems we're still having this year. We got a new coach, a new scheme, took away any distraction when it came to point guards. Basically, made sure the ball was supposed to be in our superstars' hands. Found defenders as big men and found rebounders. Now we're 12 and 10 playing absolutely under the roster we're supposed to play. First question, or that was I think this is the second one. Oh no, this is actually the first question. Can the Jays play
hmm,
together cohesively?
right,
Basically, they have too much of a similar skill set, which basically means when the ball is in one of their hands, the other one's almost useless.
right,
Neither one of them know how to play off ball that well, and pretty much the third side of that coin, which makes it, I don't even know what it makes it because it shit ain't a coin. But on that fucking prism, the third side of that is basically when the ball is in one of their hands, the rest of the team ain't doing good.
right,
They just
right.
have no sort of chemistry, no sort of cohesiveness, and the stagnant offense that was plaguing us the last couple years under Brad Stevens is honestly a lot worse now under our new regime. Um, Besides them two, yes, Schroeder's coming off the bench, and honestly, Schroeder's playing great basketball. And I still, no matter how good he's played, I'll always say he still needs to come off that bench because we don't need that many scorers coming out, starting, and we need that, bench because besides him, we have no way of creating shots. There's literally like Josh Richardson was a fucking bust. Like, what's happening? We didn't even need him to come out here and be excellent. We just needed him to come out here and give us maybe 15 consistently. Literally, that's it. You know what I'm saying? For someone who's supposed to be a 3-and-D player, what's going on?
Ain't no
You
three.
know, ain't no three, ain't no D. Like right
You
now,
know,
it seemed like the whole Celtics roster is uninterested on playing defense. They don't want to try. The intensity isn't there. They pretty much have no effort. And what's crazy is because they're playing no defense on a roster that has Marcus Smart, Jalen Brown, and Al Horford.
yep, three great defenders. Hmm.
Literally three great defenders, and we can't do nothing. There's no effort showing on both sides of the ball. Already this early in the season, you got people blaming each other. At this point, like I said, 12-10, they're barely in playoff tournament, and we're not looking good. We start off the season bad. We do a little bit better, but like at the end of the day, some of our best games come when one of the Jays is out. We still haven't been able to really figure it out as a full team what we need to do, and it's definitely not good right now. I'm not happy. I know they're not happy. We're almost 2 months of the season. Like a lot of shit's got to get figured out. Like I understand growing pains, but there's no way this could be a wash of a season, and they can call it a success with the team or with the people that they have on that team right now. So
I
that
don't
shit is
think that's
definitely
gonna.
yes. No, it's not. But like at this point, like
Yeah,
two
I'm sure
months
let's
in,
see.
I don't see nothing like much change. And like, yeah, Jalen might drop you 30. Jason might drop you 30. But they basically Jason will drop you 30 and they barely win. No,
Yeah,
Jason will drop
I,
30 and they probably still might lose. You know what I'm saying? It's not even like he can't even give you 30 and you know you're gonna win. He's giving you
I get
30 and you're
that.
still losing.
I get that, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one, man. I mean,
I mean, I'm not
I
saying
think
I'm about to stop being a fan, but no, we're in trouble. So niggas gotta
just
go to
saying.
that drawing board and figure that shit out.
I think it's prisoner in a moment because you're saying are they in trouble? Like, no, do I see them in trouble right now? Like, no, they're still eighth in the East. You know, like they're only 3 games really from being second in the East. So are they really in trouble? They could figure this out. Like you said, in the beginning of the year, they were playing horrible. The last 10 games they've been playing a little better. They're 7-3 in their last 10, or sorry, 6-4 in their last 10. They've been playing a little bit better. Obviously in the beginning of the season, there was a lot of games where Jason was out or Jalen Brown was out. Either one of them was out on multiple occasions, so they didn't start out the season good at all. I think they're gonna have to start playing a little bit more together. You're right that they don't really play together very well, and um, Jason Tatum did have a little bit of problems with Jalen Brown recently. He did say that he doesn't like how long he holds the ball. So they definitely need to figure that out. I just think that they got a lot of players that could be playing better for them. They got a lot of young guys. You guys have a
Way
young
too
roster as
much.
well. You guys have the third youngest roster. But you guys have players that can play. Peyton Pritchard is a good player that could definitely he could step it up. You know, he's another 3 point guy that you guys need. Josh Ripperson, he could definitely step it up. He needs to step it up. And I don't think that he's going to have a whole stagnant season like this. I think he's going to step it up a little bit more, even with a guy like Schroeder, who I said, you know, he's getting you that 14, but I think he can give you more. I definitely think if he steps it up even a little bit more, gets a few more points, this team is definitely, you know, here to stay. Like right now, they're not the best, but are they middle of the pack? I think they're a little bit better right now than middle of the pack. They're, you know,
They should be.
their defense is not great, but their defense is in the top 10. So, you know, that's something to look forward on. I just think that right now you got teams that are going to move down from the spots that they're at. You got teams like Washington is doing amazing. You got teams like Cleveland Cavaliers who are above them. I just think that some of these teams might move down. Boston could definitely move up, you know, by the end of the season. It's so early right now. You know, I think they will be more cohesive. And for me, I'm not worried about them. They'll be a top 14, top 5 team. I think
So
top
here's
5.
my thing. For me saying that they're in trouble, what I mean by that is they need to admit that they're in trouble for them to get to where they need to get to by the end of the season. Like clearly something's not working. Actually, a lot of things aren't working. We're in trouble, but they need to admit that to figure some things out to be able to move forward and get to the potential that they're supposed to be able to get to.
So my question, real quick, I got a quick question. I know we didn't even talk about this question, but I just want to bring it out. I just thought about this recently. Do you think that either one of these guys is gonna not be there at the end of the season, or not at the end of the season, but by next year? Are they
Not at
both gonna
all.
be there at starting out 23 season. Jason Tatum
Yeah,
and Jalen Brown.
they're not gonna give up. One, the Celtics ain't gonna give up on either one of them,
Okay.
and at this point, they're not gonna give up on each other. I think they have it convinced that us two can be the two. Like they know that the Celtics organization is building a team around them too,
Right.
and they know that they know they're young. They know they have that pressure. So at this point, I don't think because think about it, they can't go anywhere and be a number one. So one of them will have to basically be willing to be a number two somewhere, and I don't think neither one of them have that in them right now. They're dogs, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's different. I think if they don't make the Eastern Conference Finals this year, if they get out in the first or second round, I think one of them is gone, and most likely is going to be Jalen Brown.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they blow it up that soon. I think
Okay.
next year we try to get rid of a few contracts and get a legit big.
You might be right because it is, you got a rookie coach, rookie head coach, so he might want to see what he can do with them. But I just feel like they've tried so many times with different packages.
But
Isaiah
they
got
haven't.
Brady.
But here's my problem. This is the first time they're finally trying with the right purpose, which is making them to the centerpiece. First
Right.
they had Kyrie, then last year they had them too. But I swear, the way Brad Stevens runs his offense off of the high pick and roll, pretty
Yeah.
much the ball was always in
20.
Kim's fucking hand. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So basically,
That's why Smart's got so many assists this year. I mean, Smart's having like a career year in assists this year. So,
no, definitely, if you're a point guard for the Celtics, you're definitely gonna have some decent assist numbers.
but it's
But they
interesting to
pretty
look at. I
much
mean, because I know that they don't. I know that they don't get along. It's been known for a while now in the NBA that Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum don't get along. So
nah, they get along.
I
They
don't.
just
I
ain't the
mean,
they just ain't the best of friends. But like, that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, they know that they're the two dogs, and I don't think they're gonna leave each other anytime soon.
okay, yeah,
Nah, but like you said, they gotta definitely figure some things out. You are right; they are two games behind the second team in the East. There are teams like Washington and teams like the Cavs that more than likely would drop down. But is that a for sure? And that's
hmm.
one of the last questions I want to wrap this episode up on is talking about the Wizards, man. Second in the East at 14-8. Like we really, really, really have to ask ourselves, are the Wizards a playoff contender in the East? Like you said, and I want to ask you this and see what you say about this, because pretty much like you said, they're only 2 games behind or 2 games ahead of what the eighth, ninth place team.
Right.
The whole East right now is basically sitting over 500. You got a lot of teams that are playing in the East that are supposed to be a lot better.
You got
That
Philadelphia number 11.
That's what I'm
Right?
saying.
They're 11-11.
Exactly. You got teams
They're
that are supposed to be playing good that are just subpar, and obviously you got teams like the Wizards sitting at second in the East. The only reason why I want to specifically talk about the Wizards though is because they actually revamped their whole team,
yeah.
brought in a lot of new people. So while other people might be playing good because of how other teams are playing bad, I want to ask you this and actually see what you feel about the Wizards. Is this a fluke? Are they serious? Second in the East, do they have a chance of making the playoffs? If they make the playoffs, can they compete, man? So, what do you think? Are the Wizards a playoff contenders in the East?
So I'm gonna try to go through all those questions. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, they are second in the East. I think they started out hot. They started out 9-3, amazing start to their season. Obviously, they got Kuzma this year. They got Roy Hachimura. They got John Wall. Sorry, not John Wall. Um, who did they got as their point guard? Dinwiddie. I'm sorry, Dinwiddie. They got
Yeah, they
and
got
they
Spencer Dinwiddie,
got
Caldwell
Spencer
Pope,
Dinwiddie
Bradley
and
Bill,
yep, and they
Kuzma,
got
Montrezl
Hachimura
Harrell.
and Montrezl Harrell as well. So Dinwiddie's been playing great for them. I think.
Oh
I definitely
yes.
think. I mean, even Kuzma, where was this in LA? Like this, if LeBron had this, he would be happy with Kuzma. Kuzma would still be in LA if he was playing like he is now, giving you like 17 and 8 or something like that. Like playing great. I just think that they started out very hot. I mean, if you look at their last 10 games, they're 5-5, so they kind of came back down to earth a little bit. I think looking at the teams below them, I think a lot of these teams are going to move up, and I I do think you're going to see a little bit of slippage. Do I think that they're a playoff team this year? Are they going to make the play-in tournament or possibly the even the top six? I think they're going to be a play-in team. I think they'll be either a seventh, eighth, or ninth around there. They'll definitely make the play-in tournament. I just think that they're not gonna stay up where they are right now. The East is so hot. There's so many teams right now that are just so close to each other, and everyone's playing close games. And you got teams like Philadelphia 76ers who are out of the playoffs right now. They're gonna move up. You got teams like the Celtics and Charlotte Hornets. I think those teams are slightly better than the Wizards. The Wizards just played amazing in the first 10 games of the season. They were blowing out teams, but lately Bradley Beal, he's been taking a step back. If you look at his last 10 games compared to his first 10 games, he was averaging 40% on a three. Right now, he's averaging 33.7. So he dropped down on the three a lot, Bradley Beal, just from his first 10 to his last 10. So for
Right.
that reason, I think that they're definitely going to drop down. Now, I do think they're going to make the playoffs. As far as are they going to win a series playing against teams like Milwaukee, Brooklyn, even Chicago, or a team like Philadelphia? No, I don't. I think those top four teams, those are the top four. I don't think they could win a first round series right now. Now, I think they're missing literally one piece. They literally need one more guy. They got Montrezl Harrell, but if they had another big that can actually score, I think that's what they need. They need a big that can score, and then I think you got a pretty good shot at being a contender in the East. So right now, I got them losing in the first round, getting to the playoffs, losing in the first round. I think they're playing great basketball in the beginning. I do think they'll come back down to earth and be close to a 42-42 team, kind of a 500 team.
I say you just pretty much spelled it out so perfect. I agree on a lot of things you just said. Definitely give them a great shot at least making the playoffs. You got to
Right.
remember last year for the first time in a few years, the Knicks and the Hawks squeezed in. You know what I'm saying? And the Hornets almost squeezed in. So
Yep.
they got a chance of definitely at least getting in the playoffs 100%. The bottom three teams in the East are notorious for not making it. It's not that good of a chance for them to make it out the first round. But I also, like you said, can they win the series? At this point, I don't think I could give them a series against any team in the East, really. Even hell, I'll be honest. I could probably, as high as they are at 14-8, I could probably give the Hornets in a series against them. You know what I'm
I think so.
saying?
Let's see. In
Yeah.
the series,
So in the series, I'll give it to the Hornets. So like, there's not that many teams that they can pretty much beat in a series. But as of what they're doing right now, they're pretty much just their defense. That's what's been keeping them alive. They're middle of the pack of offense, but top 10, top 8 in defense. They've been forcing a lot of tougher shots by running people off the line
mm,
and then meeting them in the paint.
mm,
Basically, forcing by far the league's most amount of mid-range shots, and most of those mid-range shots are on the move. So they have a very good uh, versatile group of defenders. Bill's giving you 22 points, Pope's giving you 11, Bill's giving you 5 and 6 on top of that. Spencer's giving you 14, 5 and 5. Like you say, he's playing great basketball right now. Montrez giving you 16 and 8, with Kuzma giving you 13 and 9. So they got role players doing their thing. They got versatile defenders. They got gritty defenders. Like them boys in Washington are dogs.
for
And like I
sure.
said,
Yeah,
they threw a bunch of misfits together. They threw a bunch of people nobody wanted. Basically,
that's
like think
that's
about it.
true. That's true.
Montrez, Kuzma, Spencer, and Pope were all top 2 to 3, top 3 options
Yeah,
tied to a superstar.
yeah. You're
We
right.
got we got Pope with LeBron, Spencer with the Nets,
That's
and
yeah.
Montrez with the Clippers, and then Kuzma with the Lakers as well. All of them were pretty much discarded after an attempt to build a super team, or yeah, pretty much an attempt to build a super team. So all of them pretty much got kicked to the side, and now they all ended up in
You can play
Brooklyn
like
or
this with
in
them.
Wizards, and that's the whole point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They all were pretty much forced under at least two people's shadows, and now
Yes.
pretty much they're all besides Bill, whoever could show up shows up, and they're
Yeah.
all showing up. Obviously not top level, but like you said, they're gonna do enough to get into the playoffs, do enough to stay where they're supposed to stay. Um, they're shooting good. They obviously got decent depth. And on top of that, they're really getting to the line at a high clip right now, compared to other teams. To pretty much go to show that it isn't a specific fluke and that they can still continue to do what they need to do to at least get to the playoffs and have a decent season. Some of the teams that they already beaten is Celtics twice, Mavs, Bucks, Hawks,
Mm,
Heat, and Grizzly.
some good
About
teams.
three of those teams came back and got another win back. Splitting. Like I know they lost against the Hawks. I'm pretty sure the Bucks came back and won. But at the
I
end of
think
the day, like
six teams. Those Celtics games were early in the season too, so they were like the second and the
they
fourth game
were
of the season.
They were very early in the season and close together. But either way, they've shown that they can beat decent teams, and I definitely 100% think that they'll make the playoffs. And I'm excited to see it because at the end of the day, like I'm glad Bradley Bill because he keeps saying he's gonna stick it out, and I'm
Yeah,
glad they finally did something for him, got him a decent amount of players around him, and at this point, yeah, they won't make no road noise, but it's a lot better to see than what the situation he was in. And right now, it seems like John Wall's in a way worse situation over there in Houston.
that's for sure. And I'm sure he's mad that he left. But honestly, without him leaving, they probably weren't going to be able to sign all the guys that they
All those
have now.
players, yeah, they were dead.
Yeah,
They were dead in the water if they kept
yeah,
both of them.
44 million for that contract for Wall. But
Dead in the water.
one thing that opened my eyes, like right now, he did just say all the teams that they beat. That's one thing that's huge for them. They need to be able to know that they can beat the top teams.
Exactly. They're
If they have
dogs.
that,
In their head, they want to go out there and compete. They all got chips on their shoulders, and it don't matter who they face up against. Like, yeah, they won't win the series, but in their head, they might think they can.
yeah, that's definitely a good thing for them to have. That is huge. To play like that is huge. I just think that if a guy like Dinwiddie steps it up, maybe towards the middle of the season, starts getting, his shooting improved a little bit better, and if Bradley Beal goes back to what he was shooting in the beginning of the season, shooting that close to 40%, then I,
Hmm.
I do think they could easily step it up in the top six. Maybe even a top four. Depends on if one of the teams that I was saying, like the Celtics or Philly, doesn't do as good. But just for me, I just need. I think that they are one missing piece away from being a title contender. I really think they need one more guy that can
And I
score
think it's
around 20.
that big.
I think so
Yeah,
too. I think they need
100%. Because they got
to score.
Bill, they got Pope, they got Spencer, they got Kuzma, they got guards, and they got wings, they got Hachimura. They need that big.
And you know who I'm looking at? What I've been like, just like from listening through the grapevine, looking up on Twitter and stuff like that.
I swear, you would think Rado like yo. So me and Rado was at the bar, bro, and I forgot what we were talking about. And
Donovan
this
Donovan,
man literally turned to the, like lean to me. He was like, "Yo, I heard from a source," and I'm like, "Yo, who is you talking to? What are you talking about?"
that's what I
So you
heard.
always got the I don't know how because every time you say something, I'm like, "Where you heard that from?"
Well, they're saying that Jared Allen is not happy in Cleveland, because obviously with the emergence of
That's
Evan
so
Mobley,
funny.
so they're talking about possibly him moving and trading before trade deadline, and they are saying that
That would be a great spot for
Washington
him.
has a destination in hand, possibility, or
Oof,
destination.
imagine. And honestly, hey, that not only be a great spot, but it really improves the team because at that point you push Montrez back to the bench, and now
That's what it needs to be.
He excels at a bench
That,
role.
that was his best. I think Montreal he plays his
He's not
best.
no, he's not a starter.
He plays the
I
best
don't
on the
I
bench.
don't
Yeah,
care that he's giving you 16 and 8 right now. He is not a
right.
starter. Like at the end of the day, like there's gonna be big men who start just because they're big men. Like you got to think about it. Zubac has been carried by the Lakers and Clippers for the last no
Yeah,
by the Cavs. It was the Cavs, basically LeBron. He was with LeBron, then he went with
back in
Kawhi.
back in the day when
Zubac
he
has
was.
basically been carried by superstars doing
That's
nothing
it.
for like 4 years now.
But they don't
So
need
at
him
the
to.
end and
They're
they
looking
don't.
for rebounding.
So Montrez has always shown that he can never be a starting center. His skill sets only goes well with backups basically, which is why the Clippers continuously kept him on the. Which is why Zubac's a nobody got a starting role
Yeah,
over Montrezl Harrell for the whole time he was in fucking in LA. So yeah,
True.
so definitely they definitely need a center. If they could get Jared Allen, put Montrezl on the bench, that really because at that point, uh, you got multiple, you got two people coming off the bench and giving you
Exactly.
points. Yeah,
Exactly.
so that would be a great move for them
I think we both agree on that. They both need a big. They need one guy to move
for
past
sure.
that level to
And
be
then
that.
at that point, they can contend in the East. They
I
can
think
win.
so.
They can go to like think about it. At the end of the day, you telling me a Bradley Bill Wizards. If this team right now gets someone like Jared Allen, you telling me a Bradley Bill Wizards wouldn't be able to do the same exact thing that the Hawks did last year in the playoffs?
I mean, I think so. I think
beat
so.
a
Especially
beat a
he
average team in the first round, and then
playing.
maybe get hot in the second round where badly dropping 30 a game. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, he could.
like they can make it competitive. Yeah, so definitely getting one big will definitely make them into actual playoff contenders. They still won't win a ring, but they can at least get to the second round, depending on their seeding.
That's an interesting question. I want to revisit this question in like at least like 10,
Hopefully they
15
get
more.
some trades. Yeah, hopefully they get
I
some
want to
things going.
see like because the way that the GM's probably looking, he's seeing how that they're looking right now, but he probably saw the last 10 games and he knows what they need, and it-
Peace.
maybe they might get something. We'll see. It'll be interesting though.
That will be
But
dope to see.
what a great episode, man! Great to
Yes,
talk
sir.
NBA again.
Been a few
Good to see.
weeks, man.
Yeah,
Right now, NFL is our main one because obviously it's every week we're in there. NBA, we're gonna give NFL a little bit more precedent up until playoffs come because pretty much once the NFL finished, it's nothing but basketball for a few months. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're gonna just keep it here and there for the NBA episodes up until it really starts spicing up. I think we both agreed that's from pretty much around Christmas time.
sure.
That's when the game starts getting
Sure.
spicy. Storylines start getting a lot more heavier.
Yeah,
Obviously, you're gonna keep hearing us from sports, but we definitely love to talk NBA. It's been a few weeks, and I'm glad we was able to drop this episode, talking about some good. And if I wasn't talking to you,
well, but definitely, I mean, there's gonna be some crazy storylines, in the future too, and we're definitely
Mhm.
gonna get into those.
Yes, sir.
We love getting into those NBA storylines because they definitely give us a lot of good content to talk
Oh
about.
yes.
But we definitely appreciate you guys listening. And if you want to watch the podcast, please check out our Facebook and YouTube. And if you want to listen to it, check us out wherever you find your podcasts. And it's been a great episode. And thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Who You Got with
Mellow.
and Rado. See you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.